السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد, we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abundantly the way He deserves to be praised. We ask Allah to exalt the mention and grant peace and send His blessings and salutations upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hope you can all hear clear, loud and clear, and without further ado. Yeah, I don't know why it keeps showing up black. Whenever I close it, it doesn't show. Anyways, without any further ado, we'll begin with the ayah number 73 of Soorah Al-Mu'minoon.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإنك لتدعوهم إلى صراط مستقيم وإن الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة عن الصراط لناكبون.
And indeed you invite them to a straight path. But indeed those who do not believe in the hereafter are deviating from the path. The Shaykh Rahimahullah says, ذكر الله تعالى في هذه الآيات الكريمات كل سبب موجب للإيمان. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned in these noble ayat every reason that necessitates faith. وذكر الموانع, and then Allah mentioned the preventers. What are the things that prevent one from having faith? وبين فسادها واحدا بعد واحد, and Allah Azza wa Jal highlighted its corruption, the corruption of that reason or that prevention, one after the other. فذكر من الموانع, Allah mentioned among the preventers أن قلوبهم في غمرة, that their hearts are covered and smothered. وأنهم لم يدبروا القول, and the fact that they did not reflect on the statement. وأنهم اقتدوا بآبائهم, and that they followed the footsteps of their forefathers. وأنهم قالوا, and that they went on to say برسولهم جنة, that their messenger is mad. كما تقدم الكلام عليها, as we have previously said in the aforementioned ayat. وذكر من الأمور الموجبة لإيمانهم, then Allah mentioned the matters which necessitate having faith. تدبر القرآن, reflecting on the Quran. وتلقي نعمة الله بالقبول, and to accept the bounty of Allah willingly, to have this eagerness to accept the bounty of Allah. ومعرفة حال الرسول محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم وكمال صدقه وأمانته, and having knowledge of the condition of the Prophet Muhammad عليه الصلاة والسلام, and the perfection of his truthfulness and his trustworthiness. وأنه لا يسألهم عليه أجرا, and the fact that he does not ask them for any payment. وإنما سعيه لنفعهم ومصلحتهم, and verily and exclusively his effort and his striving is for their benefit and their advantage. وأن الذي يدعوهم إلى صراط مستقيم أو إلى صراط مستقيم عفوا, that the one who invites them to a straight path, وأن الذي يدعوهم إليه صراط مستقيم عفوا, that which he's inviting them to is a straight path. سهل على العاملين لاستقامته, it is easy for the people who strive because it is a straight path. Meaning it's easy for you to travel upon it because it's already straight. There are no zigzags, there are no mazes, there are no detours. It's straight. موصل إلى المقصود من قرب, and it allows you to arrive at your objective in a very short manner. حنيفية سمحة. Hanifiyya is that adherence to Tawheed and the staying away from shirk, and Samha is forgiving and pardoning. Samha meaning easy and soft. حنيفية في التوحيد سمحة في العمل. Hanifiyya when it comes to matters of Tawheed, and forgiving and pardoning when it comes to actions. فدعوتك إياهم إلى الصراط المستقيم موجب لمن يريد الحق أن يتبعك. Your invitation, you inviting them to the straight path, obliges those who want the truth to follow you. لأنه مما تشهد العقول والفطر بحسنه وموافقته للمصالح, because it's among the things that the intellect and the natural disposition, those with a sound natural disposition, agree about its benefit and its wellness. فأين يذهبون إن لم يتابعوك. So where will they go if they do not follow you. فإنهم ليس عندهم ما يغنيهم ويكفيهم عن متابعتك. They don't have anything that will suffice them and will fulfill them if they don't follow you. They don't have any alternatives, in other words. They don't have anything that will enrich them if they don't follow you. لأنهم عن الصراط ناكبون, because they are regarding the path ناكبون متجنبون منحرفون عن الطريق الموصل إلى الله تعالى وإلى دار كرامته. They are deviating, they are diverting away from the path which leads to Allah and His abode of nobleness. ليس في أيديهم إلا ضلالات وجهالات. They have nothing in their hands except misguidance and ignorance. وهكذا كل من خالف الحق. And this is the description and the affair of anybody who opposes the truth. لابد أن يكون منحرفا في جميع أموره. It is inevitable that he will deviate in all of his affairs. قال تعالى, Allah says, فإن لم يستجيبوا لك, if they don't respond to you, فاعلم أنما يتبعون أهواهم, then know that they are only following their desires. ومن أضل ممن اتبع هواه بغير هدى من الله. Who is more misguided than he who follows his desires without any guidance from Allah? And that's why you will find that there's always a resemblance between the people of deviation. You know, there's always a common denominator between them. You remember that clip we just made about the those who were jumping into the fire? I assumed they were Sufis because I don't understand Urdu, and I guess somebody was screaming in the background, Hassan or Hussein or something like that. It turned out to be Shia. And some people are making a big fuss, like, oh, brother, you know, you got to be careful and you fear Allah. Those were Shia. They were not Sufis. Okay. Like, really though? Yeah, you know, they're all tripping, right? You know that the Sufis do even worse than that. The Sufis, they put rods in their head and they stab themselves with knives and they do crazier stuff than that. And it really doesn't matter whether I assessed properly. I should have done a research. There's no research to do. What are you going to call them on the phone and say, hey, yo, where were you? What were you, by the way? Were you a Sufi? No, I want to speak to the guy who got roasted specifically. Were you a Sufi or a Shia? Oh, you were a Shia. Okay, let me take the video down. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's all deviants. They're all crazy people. The way they behave and the way they represent Islam is ludicrous. And it's insane. And so, you know, anyone who goes against the truth, they go on to copy and paste each other in matters of deviance. They go on to learn from each other in terms of, you know, how they apply the religion, how they understand the religion. That's why you find some of these habits and rituals are Hindu based. You know what I'm saying? They get them from Hindus or they get them from others. We adopt, you know, foreign deviances because we have gone against the truth. That's once you go against the truth, then you're going to be tested with every and all kinds of craziness, all kinds of deviance. When you submit to the truth, however, then you don't have a problem. You know, then you don't have to worry about it, whether they're this or that. It's all the same. Hey, ayah number 75, sir.
ولو رحمناهم وكشفنا ما بهم من ضر للجوا في طغيانهم يعمهون ولقد أخذناهم بالعذاب فما استكانوا لربهم وما يتضرعون حتى إذا فتحنا عليهم بابا ذا عذاب شديد إذا هم فيه مبلسون.
And even if we gave them mercy and removed what was upon them of affliction, they would persist in their transgression, wandering blindly. And we had gripped them with suffering as a warning, but they did not yield to their Lord, nor did they humbly supplicate. Until when we have opened before them a door of severe punishment, immediately they will be therein in despair. All right, the Shaykh rahimahullah says, هذا بيان لشدة تمردهم وعنادهم. This is a clarification regarding the extremism in their resistance and stubbornness. وأنهم إذا أصابهم الضر دعوا الله أن يكشف عنهم ليؤمنوا. And that whenever affliction befalls them, they will call on Allah to remove it so that they will believe. أو ابتلاهم بذلك ليرجعوا إليه. Or Allah will test them with that so they may return to Him. أن الله إذا كشف الضر عنهم, when Allah removes that affliction from them, لجوا أي استمروا, they continue في طغيانهم يعمهون أي يجولون في كفرهم حائرين مترددين. They continue to wander in their disbelief, lost and confused. كما ذكر الله حالهم عند ركوب الفلك, as Allah described the affair when they ride on the ship. وأنهم يدعون مخلصين له الدين, that they call on Allah sincere to Him in their religion. وينسون ما يشركون به, and they forget all of the false gods that they associate with Him. فلما أنجاهم, but right when Allah Azza wa Jal saves them, إذا هم يبغون في الأرض بالشرك وغيره, all of a sudden they are now transgressing on earth with shirk and other than that. Right? نعم. ولقد أخذناهم بالعذاب. قال المفسرون المراد بذلك الجوع الذي أصابهم 7 سنين. And we have seized them with the punishment. The scholars say this is what is intended is the starvation that afflicted them for 7 years. وأن الله ابتلاهم بذلك ليرجعوا إليه بالذل والاستسلام. And that Allah tested them with that so that they return to Him in humiliation and submission. فلم ينجع فيهم, it did not work with them. ولا نجح منهم أحد, and none of them succeeded. فما استكانوا لربهم, they did not humble themselves. أي خضعوا وذلوا, they did not humble themselves and humiliate themselves before Allah. وما يتضرعون إليه ويفتقرون, they don't beseech Him, they don't beg Him, they don't supplicate to Him. بل مر عليهم ذلك ثم زال كأنه لم يصبهم. So they went through this difficulty, then it was gone as if it never afflicted them. لم يزالوا في غيهم وكفرهم, they remained in their transgression and their disbelief. ولكن وراءهم العذاب الذي لا يرد. الله المستعان. But behind them will be the torment that may not be returned. It may not be stopped. It may not be repelled. It may not be rejected. وهو قوله, it's the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal, حتى إذا فتحنا عليهم بابا ذا عذاب شديد, until when we open up the door of severe punishment. كالقتل يوم بدر وغيره, such as the death that they were afflicted with on the battle of Badr and other events. إذا هم فيه مبلسون آيسون من كل خير, all of a sudden they despair from every type of good. قد حضرهم الشر وأسبابه, the evil has appeared before them and its reasons and causes. فليحذروا قبل نزول عذاب الله شديد, let them be careful before the severe punishment of Allah descends upon them. الذي لا يرد, the one that cannot be returned. بخلاف مجرد العذاب, unlike the regular punishment. فإنه ربما أقلع عنهم, maybe it will be removed, alleviated. كالعقوبات الدنيوية التي يؤدب الله بها عباده, such as the worldly punishments that Allah uses to reprimand and to punish his slaves. But it's a means of educating them and making them return to Him, basically. That's from adab, يؤدب يعني, so you can behave. Yeah. قال تعالى ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس ليذيقهم بعض الذي عملوا لعلهم يرجعون. Corruption has appeared in the land and in the sea because of what the hands of the people have earned, so Allah may make them taste some of that which they have put forth. Perhaps they will return to Him. Ayah number 78, 79 and 80, sir.
وهو الذي أنشأ لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة قليلا ما تشكرون وهو الذي ذرأكم في الأرض وإليه تحشرون وهو الذي يحيي ويميت وله اختلاف الليل والنهار أفلا تعقلون.
And it is He who produced for you hearing and vision and hearts. Little are you grateful. And it is He who multiplied you throughout the earth, and to Him you will be gathered. And it is He who gives life and causes death. And He is the alternation, and His is the alternation of the night and the day, then will you not reason? Then will you not reason? يخبر تعالى بمنه أو بمننه على عباده الداعي لهم إلى شكره والقيام بحقه. Allah Azza wa Jal tells us about His bounties. Minan from minna. A bounty, minan is the plural. And the ha is a pronoun referring back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He tells them about His bounties upon His slaves that invite them to be grateful to Him and to fulfill His right. فقال, so Allah said, وَهُوَ الَّذِي أَنشَأَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ. It is He who produced for you hearing. لِتُدْرِكُوا بِهِ الْمَسْمُوعَاتِ فَتَنْتَفِعُوا فِي دِينِكُمْ وَدُنْيَاكُمْ. So that you could acquire and you could attain and you could hear the audible things, and so therefore you benefit in your religion and in your worldly life. وَالْأَبْصَارِ لِتُدْرِكُوا بِهَا الْمُبْصَرَاتِ فَتَنْتَفِعُوا بِهَا فِي مَصَالِحِكُمْ. Similarly, He gave you the vision so you could see the things which are visible, and therefore you could benefit in that which benefits you. وَالْأَفْئِدَةِ, and the hearts. I don't know, is it right, left? I don't know, whatever. أي العقول التي تدركون. Pay attention now. أي العقول التي تدركون بها الأشياء وتتميزون بها عن البهائم. What is intended by the hearts is not the technical, medical definition concept of the heart, as in the organ that pumps and keeps you alive by the will of Allah. He's talking about the mind, because Allah says in other occasions that they have عقول لا يفقهون, they have قلوب لا يفقهون بها, they have hearts with which they do not understand. They have hearts with which they do not understand. So Allah attributed understanding to the heart. So here we're understanding the same thing. Al-uqul, the minds with which you acquire, you understand, you reach things, and you differentiate yourself from animals. How do you differentiate yourself from livestock and baha'im? Is by using your intellect. Mind you, even the animals use their intellect, but in a very limited scope. And that's why an animal that uses its intellect with a limited scope and remembers Allah is better than a human being who uses his mind to disbelieve in Allah and doesn't remember Him. Because Allah says in other ayat, أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ. Those humans are like the cattle, the livestock, rather they are more astray. So Allah made the animals superior in this regard, even though in general the generic statement وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ, Allah says we have honored the son of Adam, and so Allah honored us. But if you deviate from the path, خلاص فَلَوْ عُدِمْتُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْعُقُولَ بِأَنْ كُنْتُمْ صُمًّا عُمْيًا بُكْمًا. So if you were denied of your hearing and seeing and your intellect, so you became deaf, blind, and mute. ماذا تكون حالكم? What will be your affair? وماذا تفقدون من ضرورياتكم وكمالكم? And what will you miss out on from the necessities on your things that you need to survive? أفلا تشكرون الذي من عليكم بهذه النعم. Should you not be thankful to the one who bestowed upon you these favors? فتقومون بتوحيده وطاعته. So you establish His worship alone and His obedience. ولكنكم قليلا شكركم مع توالي النعم عليكم. But the reality is your thankfulness is very limited in spite of the persistence of the benefits and the bounties being bestowed upon you. وهو تعالى الذي ذرأكم في الأرض أي بثكم في أقطارها وجهاتها. It is Allah Azza wa Jal who multiplied you on earth, meaning He made you go all over the place in its different planes and its sides, north, south, east, west, so on and so forth. وَصَلَّتَكُمْ عَلَى اسْتِخْرَاجِ مَصَالِحِهَا وَمَنَافِعَهَا. And Allah Azza wa Jal gave you the authority and the ability to extract from this earth its benefits and its goods. وَجَعَلَهَا كَافِيَةً لِمَعَايِشِكُمْ وَمَسَاكِنِكُمْ. And Allah made it sufficient for your livelihood, and for your residency. وإليه تحشرون, and to him you will be gathered بعد موتكم, after your death. فيجازيكم بما عملتم في الأرض من خير وشر. So Allah will recompense you regarding that which you have done on earth, whether good or bad. وتحدث الأرض وتحدث الأرض التي كنتم فيها بأخبارها. And the earth which you are upon will tell about its news. You know the Surah الزلزلة. نعم. وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها وقال الإنسان ما لها. نعم, until the end. وهو تعالى وحده الذي يحيي ويميت. It is Allah Azza wa Jal alone, the only one who gives life and causes death. أي المتصرف في الحياة والموت هو الله وحده. The one who controls life and death is Allah alone. وله اختلاف الليل والنهار, and to Allah belongs the alternation of the night and the day. أي تعاقبهما وتناوبهما, meaning they're taking turns and one coming after the other. فلو شاء أن يجعل النهار سرمدا, if Allah will to make the day permanent. من إله غير الله يأتيكم بليل تسكنون فيه, which God besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring about for you a night in which you will rest. Imagine, ya akhwan, imagine we take the bounty and the blessing of the alternation of the night and the day for granted. Imagine if there was perpetual day or perpetual night for years on end. I know where some parts of the earth this is the case, right? On the North Pole and the South Pole, something like that over there, they have different situation because of where it falls and on the equator and the earth and versus the other planets. But imagine if for the average person everywhere they were like years of daylight or years of nighttime. How would we be able to, how much we'll be messed up. ولو شاء أن يجعل الله الليل سرمدا ولو شاء أن يجعل الليل سرمدا من إله غير الله يأتيكم بضياء أفلا تبصرون. If Allah willed, and if He will to make the night perpetual and permanent, which God besides Allah will bring about a light, so do you not see? ومن رحمته جعل لكم الليل والنهار لتسكنوا فيه ولتبتغوا من فضله ولعلكم تشكرون. And from His mercies that He made for you the night and the day, so you may rest therein, and so you may seek of His bounty, and perhaps you will be grateful. ولهذا قال هنا, that's why Allah said here, أفلا تعقلون فتعرفون أن الذي وهب لكم من النعم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة. So you will know that the one who granted you these bounties of hearing, vision, and heart, and mind basically. والذي نشركم في الأرض وحده, and the one who multiplied you upon earth alone. والذي يحيي ويميت وحده, and the one who causes life and causes death alone. والذي يتصرف بالليل والنهار وحده, and the one who alternates and controls the night and the day alone. إن ذلك موجب لكم أن تخلصوا له العبادة وحده لا شريك له. That all that will oblige you, will necessitate that you single Him out in worship alone with no partners. وتتركوا عبادة من لا ينفع ولا يضر ولا يتصرف بشيء, and you abandon the worship of that which does not benefit or harm or controls anything. بل هو عاجز من كل وجه, rather it is deficient and incapable and weak in every respect. فلو كان لكم عقل لم تفعلوا ذلك. Had you had a mind, you would not have done so. What does that tell you? That the people who commit shirk are brainless. People that commit shirk are dumb. People with no real IQ. Their IQ or their intellect is reserved for matters that will not benefit them or harm them, and in the currency of the life to come, and in the currency of Iman, they are the dumbest people on earth. Yep, somebody had to say it. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. And it's a tough statement, but somebody's got to say it. People that don't believe in Allah, or people that commit shirk with Allah, no matter how intellectual they think they are, or no matter how intellectual the people perceive them to be, they're actually dumb. لا عقول لهم. No braino. No braino. Why? Because your brain, your mind is supposed to at least guide you to appreciate and thank the one who controls everything. Controls life, controls death, controls the night, controls the day, controls your heart, controls your mind, controls your sustenance, controls the universe in which you live, provides you, sustains you, sent you revelation, sent you prophets, gave you signs, gave you the hearing, gave you the sight, gave you the mind. Are you kidding me? All of that, and you haven't figured it out? Are you really smart? Are you really smart, oh human? All of this and you haven't figured it out? Like the one thing that doesn't even need any effort to be figured out, you haven't figured out, but you figured out calculus, and you figured out all types of complex equations in chemistry and physics and biology and whatever. You've managed to come up and find, make cars and airplanes and invent robots and artificial intelligence and all of these advanced technological discoveries and realities. Now they're not even they're realities now. You figured all that out, and you couldn't figure that, hey, how about I worship the one who created me? Durr. Oh no, this one I haven't figured it out. I mean, that's just dumb. Because if you were to think of other examples, that we can think of many examples. That's like a person, really. That's like a person if you tell him, yo, what's 753,000 multiplied by 499,000? And he's like, within a second, he's like, yeah, that's like 3,504.3.66. Oh, say, wow, what's 1 plus 1? He's like, yeah, Sheikh, 1 plus 1, yeah, Sheikh. Is it 4? Wallah. You just multiplied crazy numbers and you gave me an answer. You don't know how to do 1 plus 1? Would you really think he's smart afterwards? Be like, yo, this dude is crazy, man. I mean, look, I thought he was smart for a second. Dude is dumb. That's what you got to understand. That's what the Sheikh's saying. فَلَوْ كَانَ لَكُمْ عَقْلٌ, had you had a mind, had you had intellect, you wouldn't have done so. You wouldn't have disbelieved in Allah and associated partners with Him. وَلَكِنْ هَيْهَاتَ هَيْهَاتَ. أي يلا يا شيخ.
بل قالوا مثل ما قال الأولون قالوا أإذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما أإنا لمبعوثون لقد وعدنا نحن وآباؤنا هذا من قبل إن هذا إلا أساطير الأولين.
نعم. Rather they say like what the former people said. They said, when we have died and become dust and bones, are we indeed to be resurrected? We have been promised this, we and our forefathers before. This is not but legends of the former peoples. أي بل سلك هؤلاء المكذبون مسلك الأولين من المكذبين بالبعث. The Sheikh said, meaning those beliers have traveled on the same road that has been traveled upon by the early beliers of resurrection. وَاسْتَبْعَدُوا غَايَةَ الْإِسْتِبْعَادِ. And they said, man, this is the most far-fetched thing in the world. How can there be a resurrection? Come on now. وَقَالُوا, they said, أَإِذَا مِتْنَا وَكُنَّا تُرَابًا وَعِظَامًا إِنَّا لَمَبْعُوثُونَ. If we die and we become bones, dust and bones, we're going to be resurrected. أي هذا لا يتصور ولا يدخل العقل بزعمهم. This cannot even be imagined, or it cannot even enter one's mind according to their allegations. لقد وعدنا نحن وآباؤنا هذا من قبل. We've been promised this. We and our forefathers, y'all said this before. أي ما زلنا نوعد بأن البعث كائن نحن وآباؤنا. We continue to be promised that the resurrection will come to pass. It will happen. And that promise has been said to us and our forefathers. وَلَمْ نَرَى, and we haven't seen it. Look at the smart guys. Where is it? Why isn't it happening yet? I'm looking for it, but it hasn't come to pass. وَلَمْ يَأْتِ بَعْد. It's not there yet. إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا أَسَاطِيرُ الْأَوَّلِينَ. This is nothing but the legends of the former peoples. أي قصصهم وأسماؤهم التي يتحدث بها وتلهي وأسمارهم. This is nothing but their stories that they say at night in order to conversate, converse, and just to waste time, just story. It's a fictional, basically fairy tale. فليس لها حقيقة. It has no truth behind it. وكذبوا قبحهم الله, and they lied, may Allah make them ugly. فأن الله أراهم من آياته أكبر من البعث. Allah showed them of His signs what is even greater than resurrection. ومثله, and مثله, whether He means and similar to that or an example of that. الخلق السماوات لخلق السماوات والأرض أكبر من خلق الناس. Allah says in the Quran, verily the creation of the heavens and the earth is greater than the creation of the people. وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم. And in Surah Yasin, Allah says, and He struck for us the similitude, and He forgot about His own creation. He said, who will bring the bones back after they have decayed? Al-Ayat, until the end of Ayat. وترى الأرض هامدة فإذا أنزلنا عليها الماء اهتزت وربت, as we did in Surah Al-Hajj. And you see the earth, dead, and then we send down the rain, the water, and then you see it shaking and moving and the vegetation growing. I mean, you see in resurrection every day, you lunatics. Every single day you see resurrection. You see the resurrection in the trees and the plants on earth. You see the resurrection in the creation of human beings from a sperm and an egg. You see Allah bringing a human into creation from his mother's womb after it was a liquid. Okay, so if Allah is able to do that, what's your problem with resurrection then? How is that something you can't fathom? If you put a seed in the earth and then you see the water come and then you see the seed growing into a humongous tree, you're observing, you're witnessing resurrection every day of your life. What y'all talking about, man? How can you deny? I don't know, man. I mean, hey. No, like really, hey, though. Think about it. Let's talk about this for a second. Is it really that they don't understand? Or is it what we learned in the previous ayat? Let's do a little quiz for y'all here. Let's see who's paying attention or who's busy chatting the entire class. I know some of y'all love to type. Yeah, I don't know if you do, you're trying to be the fastest secretary in the world with the fastest word per minute type of thing, but you love to type and chat during the class. Let's see if y'all pay attention. What can we connect this with from the previous class or maybe the one before? I don't remember. But what can we connect? Is it really that resurrection doesn't make sense to them, or is there something bigger than that? Is there like an underlying issue over there? We discussed this last time. Remember? We talked about it, and then we said, look, that's just, they're people just playing games and bluffing. There's something else. Let's see who is a genius. Let's see who's a genius. I don't see anybody. Okay, they just want to live in their ignorance. Okay, Harun, but no, I want you to quote an ayah from the previous class. It's an ayah. It's actually a number of ayat, but you can give me one ayah and I will accept it. I'm trying to find it too. Hey, who can find it? Yeah, guys, okay, but tell me more about it. It's a number of ayat. Give us a clue. It's the same surah. We did this a couple of classes ago. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Ayah 68. Let's see if we have a winner. Do we have a winner? Ayah 68. Yes and no. No, no. La, la. Where did we discuss it? I'm gonna find it. Where is it? I can't find it either, believe it or not. Surah Al-Naml, or maybe it was actually a quotation from the Sheikh in the Tafsir. Huh? قال أولو جئتكم. Yeah, this one. Uh-huh. قالوا إن بما أرسلتم به. يا جماعة الخير. Come on, guys. بما أرسلتم. In Surah Ibrahim, Surah Fussilat. Yeah, right there. Guys, it's in Surah Al-Zukhruf, Ayah number 24. Surah Al-Zukhruf, Ayah number 24. If you remember in the Tafsir, this Tafsir of this Surah, a few classes ago, whether last week or the week before that, we were discussing the reason behind this belief. And I elaborated on this, wherein they said we found our forefathers upon this, upon this way. And then the messenger said to them, the messenger said, even if I bring to you that which is better guidance than that which you found your forefathers upon, then what did they immediately turn around and say? We are, regarding what you've been sent, disbelievers. Meaning they really didn't need any excuse. They didn't need any explanation. They didn't need any clarification. Everything is already clear, but they're bent on disbelief. I was under Ayah 68. Bravo, Harun. Bravo, Harun. Yes, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Barakallah feek. Yeah. So they are bent on this concept, and we elaborated. And I told you, when you give da'wah to the people, sometimes you try to answer this misconception, answer that misconception. You go around, and in reality, that person really just doesn't want to believe. They've already made that decision. They've made a decision that they don't want to believe, and therefore, yes, that's the one in English. Therefore, it's not that resurrection doesn't make sense to them, because they're seeing resurrection every single day. They're observing and witnessing resurrection every single day, and this just doesn't do the job. And that's exactly how you deal with atheists. The atheists, they claim that things don't add up and things don't make sense. Liars. Everything makes sense. Everything is right in front of you. You just don't want to believe. That's it. Anyways, thank y'all for answering the question. And now we can open the floor for some other questions that you may have. And inshallah, we will resume next week with the continuation of the ayat. I didn't want to start these ayat because they're connected together and they're very heart-warming. And I want to do them together, inshallah, so we could, hope Allah will soften our hearts when we go over them together. So let's stop sharing and see what y'all got. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I'm not a Sheikh, I'm a revert. And some brothers told me that there are some topics we should not listen from Abdurrahim McCarthy. What topics we should avoid listening of Abdurrahim McCarthy? Well, the only problematic thing I've come across from our brother Abdurrahim, who generally is on point is his opinion on issues related to politics. So if he discusses matters of politics, then you should be wary of that, because he holds certain positions that I've seen and come across that are definitely erroneous, having to do with the matter of rulers and obeying the rulers in the Muslim countries and stuff of this sort. Yeah, other than that, matters of fiqh, matters of tawheed should be okay, inshallah. Now, I want to join the International Open University BA Islamic Studies or BA Education. You mentioned there were issues with the uni, so I'm not sure whether to enroll. Should I enroll to avoid? Oh, which is now again IOU became IOU. Oh, it is still IOU. Fine. There were issues, but not in that category, not in that science. There were issues in other aspects. So I don't know. I withhold from saying yes or no, because I'm not sure whether the issues that I've come across involve the science that you're opting for, or the option that you're opting for. Now, can we take knowledge from Sheikh Abdulaziz al-Taraifi, because I see many students of knowledge endorse in the sense of praising him? I don't know. I don't know who he is. I've heard of his name. It could be the same person that has khuruj issues. I'm not sure if it's the same person. I don't recall right now. So Allahu A'lam. Been feeling extreme sadness due to the death of Sheikh Ubaidullah Mutawakkil in Afghanistan, who got slaughtered and then burned with fire or put acid on him. Any advice? Yeah, stop feeling sad. Move on with your life. A Muslim always accepts the qadr of Allah and has a positive outlook on things. Naam. Reciting Surah Ikhlas 10 times is promised a place in Jannah. So can I recite it 50 times? Or how much ever I wish for more? Is this bid'ah? I haven't heard any scholar say that you can do that. Usually when a hadith mentions a particular number, you should stick to that number and don't add and multiply and get carried away with it. Also, will Samsung ever do squared edges phone? iPhone have squared edges phone, so it's better than Samsung. Sincerely asking, Spubs only quote Quran, Sunnah, and Salaf, except sometimes, like we test them with Rabi'. Can we take any knowledge from them, or are they from the? Of course, Spubs have a lot of valuable content on their websites. Spubs and Troid have a lot of beneficial content on their website, some excellent translations of the works of the scholars. There's a lot of good out there. The only concern and issue we have is when it comes to certain judgments against fellow du'at to Salafiyya that they've warned against, or they've oppressed, or they've declared them to be outside of the manhaj or off the manhaj. That's where the issue is, and that's where you have to be careful, because not every person that they've judged, they've done so justly. That's all. But in terms of the content, it's sound, inshallah. Now, is it correct to say Allah is not bound by time and space? As I heard some da'i saying that. I think we've gone over that in the Aqidah class, and there are some things along that line. I have to double check though. Don't quote me on it. I've seen the sickness transmitted amongst my family members. Alhamdulillah, may Allah, alhamdulillah, Allah guided me to Islam. Yes, Habibi, yes, we all know what you're talking about. If you're talking about what I was saying earlier, Allah musta'an. May Allah guide them all to Islam. In Australia, due to the lockdowns, Kuffar closed the masjids. I can't remember the last time I prayed Jum'ah or Salah in the masjid. Are we exempt due to being under pressure? Of course you're exempt. What are you going to do? Break into the masjid and pray on your own, and your own solo jama'ah? Then you're praying on your own again. Or you're going to break the masjid with another couple of brothers and pray jama'ah so they can close the masjid permanently and arrest you and put you in prison? Come on, akhi. Our religion is very reasonable, man. If you're in a situation like this, besides contemplating on migrating from the land of disbelievers to a Muslim country, that's a different subject matter altogether, certainly you're excused. Come on. What does Islam say about narcissists? Will they be questioned like everyone on the Day of Judgment, or are they categorized as insane, as they are not accountable because of their personality disorder? Come on, man. I don't think that's a valid... we cannot say that a narcissist as a person with a personality disorder that reaches a level of insanity, and therefore the pen has been lifted, and so they will not be judged on Yawm al-Qiyamah. I mean, according to the definition of narcissist, 80% of the world is narcissists. Every other person I've met is a narcissist in some way. No, they're fine. They're normal people. They will be judged like everybody else. If they're acting a certain way, which the people have labeled as narcissists, that's just a scientific opinion that you can flush down a toilet anytime you feel like it. It's not revelation. Be careful. It's not revelation. When people tell you, yeah, if you do this and this and this, that means you're this type of personality or this type of person, or that means that's all opinions. That's an opinion of another human being who did his research and study, and I'm not binded by it, and I'm obliged to believe in it, nor should you. Okay, that's how you feel about it. Doesn't mean now we're going to categorize these people as insane. In America, every time someone commits a crime, they try to find, his lawyer will find a way to prove that he has some sort of mental disorder to excuse him from the crime he committed, or that he was crazy at the moment he did it. إيش هذا? Should a wife obey if husband asks her to wear certain clothes he likes? Where? At home or outside? If he's asking her to wear certain clothes at home, no matter what he tells her to wear, she should wear. Unless it's something that Islam is against. Not in terms of her, obviously she's at home, so whatever she wears, even if she's wearing her undergarment, it's all good because she's at home with her husband. But if he's asking her to wear something that is un-Islamic, like an outfit of a devil or something of the sort, then that's a problem of a different type. If you mean outside, yeah, at home, inshallah, he tells her to wear a Daffy Duck outfit. Put on a Daffy Duck outfit and make your husband happy. He wants you to become a lizard and crawl on the ground. What's the big deal, yani? What is your husband for? So you can be the macho man in the house? I don't want. No, I don't want. You don't want? Tab, you don't want? Tab, yalla, go home then. What are we married for? What is a marriage for? So that we can bicker and fight all day? Or that someone can run the ship? There has to be a captain of the boat, and they have to be, people that are on the boat. If everybody's gonna, be the captain, one captain says go north, the other one says go south, and the boat is gonna rip in half, and everybody's gonna drown. Sheesh, yalla. Well, if there are other people in the house, then what the heck? And he's gonna wear a Duffy Duck outfit in front of her kids. Come on, guys. How am I supposed to assume every situation? Anyways, what's the hukum of if a Muslim gets insulted by another Muslim, then he insults back? Some people say this is permissible for revenge because of the ayah and the Quran. Could you clarify? Absolutely. Yes, you are allowed to retaliate with the equivalent of that which happened to you. You may not go beyond that. That's all. So if someone, let me be more explicit. Someone says, Ya kalb, you say, Ant al-kalb. You dog, say, you're the dog. You cannot say, Anta kalb, uhmar, ubhim, ujahash, and you give him 5-6 adjectives on top of the kalb he gave you, then you've transgressed now. But if he calls you kalb, you say, Anta kalb aydan, shukran. But it's better for you to pardon. You say, Anta jamil ya zarafa. طيب, next. Can we listen to Dr. Israr Ahmad? If not, then why? Someone told me we cannot listen to him because he believed in Wahdat al-Wujud, but he clearly said it's shirk. I don't know. I have the same information as you, that he had issues. Israr Ahmad had issues in terms of Wahdat al-Wujud and in terms of other matters pertaining to the sectarianism and on some ikhwani tip. But I haven't done enough research for me to be able to say anything, so I'll keep my mouth shut. Nah. Can a couple dance without music? I don't know. A man is going to dance without music? I don't know. That's a tough one. How did the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu pronounce Abu Bakr's name? Was it like Abu Bakr, or Abu Bakrin? It's Abu Bakr. In the Arabic language, if you're continuing the sentence, it's definitely not Abu Bakr. That's out of the picture. If you continue in the sentence, tamam, then you will pronounce the diacritical signs at the end. So if you say, for example, جاء أبو بكر وعمر, Prophet would have said جاء أبو بكر وعمر, because of the fact that Bakr here is مضاف إليه, so it ends with a kasra. Or if the Prophet stopped, he would have said جاء أبو بكر without the tashkil at the end. But there's no Abu Bakr. Anyways, that question on that I just realized that is not exactly beneficial, but ما في مشكلة. يلا. Kabul, Uqsum Billah, you have questions. I don't know how you even think about them. I'm trying to improve my Arabic. Do you know any Arabic channels? Like, I don't know of any Arabic channels, but we know Iman Homeschool, our loyal friend and follower, does have some stuff. So check out Iman's Homeschool, and you can get plenty of stuff in Arabic, inshallah. Is she even here today? They're not even here today, no? What happened? Says you have a dress code at work. What do you wear to work? I wear clothes, alhamdulillah. Yes, we do have a dress code. You cannot come naked. Fortunately for us, imagine if it was otherwise. No, we don't have a dress code. I wear different stuff. There were times where I wore thobes. There were times where I wear pants and shirt, dress pants and shirt, jeans and shirt. You know, whatever's clever. Yeah, we're pretty easygoing. I don't know what the best online Islamic school is. I don't know. طيب. Okay, guys, we need to finish. It's too late right now. سلام يا معلم. هلا والله محمود. If someone يتفرج على أفلام إباحية, الله المستعان, would he be doing أقل الضررين if he masturbates to avoid that? ويا بص حضرتك. يا محمود، انت بتجيب لي المصايب منين يا محمود؟ دي عايزه فتوى من شيخ يا عم الحاج. انا مش شيخ ولا مفتي عشان افتي لك في الحته دي، فاعذرني. لازم تستفتي اهل العلم او اهل العلم، وانا لست من، انا كتكوت صغير كده ادعو الى الله، لاني شيخ ولا مفتي ولا ما يحزنون ولا حتى طالب علم اصلا. طيب guys, it was nice to have you. Jazakumullah khair. If you're really excited and you have more questions and you'd like to ask them, please be patient and visit us tomorrow during our Aqidah class, inshallah, where you will be given another golden opportunity to ask more questions and therefore get more answers. Until then, I leave you in the protection of Allah. Jazakumullah khair. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.